Hey guys, it's 2 weeks postpartum, roughly, a little bit more. I wanted to touch base. I'm making these videos for others, but I'm also making them for myself, to sort of document my experience, this time around, fourth pregnancy. And having been sober now for almost a year, it's wild. But I wanted to just kind of check in. I have been an emotional roller coaster, to say the least, the last couple of weeks. Coming home from the hospital, literally, I said it in my last video, that like the drive home from the hospital, it immediately sunk in, and I was like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I feel down, this is crazy. Overload of hormones and emotions, and that sinking feeling of I'm going to be in the house with this newborn by myself for hours. It was terrifying. And it did not get easier right away. And I still have my moments where I'm like, holy shit. Especially having my toddler at home with me and the baby during the day. I've had a lot of guilt moments so far, where I have not been able to give her the attention that she deserves and needs. I've snapped at her a bunch. She just is seeking negative attention because she feels, the shift in the house, and, I'm not sleeping a lot, and I'm irritable, and I'm tired, and I'm exhausted, and I'm trying to keep up with everything, and I feel like I can't, and so this would be where, this would be where the alcohol usually enters the scene. I'd have, my boyfriend pick up a bottle of wine on the way home, or something, to that effect, like getting this whole numbing of the shitty time feeling going. And that's as real as I can be about it. It's like, it's here, and I'm not doing it. I am here in all my glory, feeling my feelings right now, and it's really something else. But I feel strong in the sense that even when I have moments where I feel weak, I feel strong because I'm not drinking. And it's taken me over a decade to get to this place where I feel like I finally have the strength and the power behind this sobriety. I honestly, I don't even know what else to say. I feel like it's just a one day at a time thing, The more that you progress in your recovery, and I don't say this to be like, ooh, veteran over here, but, because I barely have a year under my belt, but I feel like the more that you progress in your recovery, the less you have to say on it. You know what I mean? Because you shift away from the excuses. You shift away from, the whole, oh, well, I went back to it again. Or you shift away from all the stuff that you normally would be, consumed by. And you start to say things to yourself like, sobriety is a gift, or one day at a time, or, everything's going to be okay. You start to really trust that and believe that. Where before it was like your insides did not feel that at all. You didn't think that shit was going to be okay. And that's why you were constantly going back to it again and again and again, because at your core, you didn't trust that anything was a sure thing, that anything was going to be okay, ever. Right? And it's that instability, it's that mistrust, it's that lack of trust in life to carry you through and to be good to you that causes you to feel like you need to turn yourself over to escaping from it all the time, because you're just like, well, fuck that, you know. I don't think I'm not okay, and I don't think that I'm ever going to be okay, and I don't like the way that I feel, and so I'd rather not feel it. Right? I mean, have a baby, one of the most massive life changes you could possibly go through as a human being, right? I mean, as a woman specifically. But like, go do that. Go try that, you know? And then tell me, you know, you're good, right? That you don't need something to help you get through. I was just posting this the other day. I made a postpartum depression post on my Facebook page, and I was like, yeah, we're not all surrounded by these little grandmas, you know, cooking for us and, you know, sitting bedside next to us going, okay, honey, it's my turn to nurse the baby. Hand him over, you know, that whole it takes a village thing. Yeah, people don't do that shit anymore. You know, moms are on their own now. Moms are like, forget, you know, forget the village. You're not even getting freaking, I got 6 weeks pregnancy disability. I didn't even qualify for FMLA. You know what I mean? I really, I applaud the countries that pay their moms to be out of work for a year, because that's definitely a luxury that Americans do not get to experience very often, unless you have an amazing, incredible job. But anyway, I digress. So, I, it's really, it's not as easy as you would think, right? To get through. So many people, I mean, we all drink for different reasons, but like for me, it was always an anxiety thing. Like I had really bad anxiety since I was a young kid, and I discovered, you know, and I've said this before, that alcohol was able to calm that anxiety for me and bring me out of my shell. You know, it allowed me to be the more lively girl at parties where I would just kind of sit in the corner and be shy and not talk to anyone. It allowed me to say things that I didn't have the guts to say. It allowed me to escape from feeling so down for a little while. And then you wake up the next morning and you feel even more down than you did the day before. Right? And people say things like, well, alcohol's a depressant. You're like, no, it's not. I feel great. But you don't feel great forever. You feel great temporarily until you don't feel great anymore. But yeah, mom life is hard, especially in the beginning. Okay? The first 4 to 5 years of a child's life are the hardest to get through as a parent. OMG. The hardest. You've got potty training, you've got temper tantrums, disciplining, you've got setting boundaries, you've got in and out of car seats, you know, you've got mealtime, food flying all over the place. I mean, it's just an endless list of shitty shit, okay, that you're sitting here pretending to love, but secretly hate, right? And so, how do you cope? How do you cope with losing yourself? How do you cope with drowning in parenting duties where you don't even recognize yourself anymore? How do you cope with, oh my God, what happened to my life, you know? And people say things like, oh, well, you know, just go out with your girlfriends and, you know, just go out with your friends. I'm like, what friends? No one's here. No one cares. This is 2020, guys. Let's get real. There's no friends. No one gives two shits about me. Well, that's not true. Lots of people do. But, you know, we don't have this line of people outside waiting to come in and see me and hang out with me and hold my baby. I mean, maybe there's a few people, but anyway, I think that because it's so different now, there's a lot more anxiety attached to the first few years of a child's life. The first few years of giving birth and having, a child are really challenging because a lot of the time you're doing it alone or you're doing it with very minimal help. Even spouses, they well-meaning, well-intentioned, spouses, there's limitations. People have limitations. People have capacities. I'm at full capacity right now. I'll tell you that. But there's only so much that people can do. Um, so I've just been sitting here with my feelings, and I just keep telling myself one day at a time it's going to get better. This is a season of my life right now. It's not going to last forever. It never does. Life progresses. Life moves forward every time without fail. I mean, we don't have to worry about ever being stuck because life is constantly moving. Seasons come and seasons go, right? So you have to learn to relax and rest and trust in the natural flow of life. And that's damn hard, basically. It just is, and people can tell you that till they're blue in the face. And there's certain things that people will say that are like true, but it's annoying hearing it, like one day at a time. You're like, pfft, right? Or like, I love the one that's like, talking about your kids and how fast they grow up, and people are like, it doesn't last forever. It goes by so fast. It goes by so fast. And you're like, yeah, I wish it would. I'm happy it does. But then you're like, I'm going off. I'm going off on a tangent. Anyway, I just wanted to check in with you guys, let you know that I'm surviving. March 2nd, I think, March 1st or 2nd is going to be my 1 year sobriety mark, and I have never, ever been freaking sober that long since I was like a young child. Of maybe 14 or 15. Definitely have not been alcohol free that long in a long time, and so I'm very proud of myself. Granted, 3/4 of that was a pregnancy. I will say it again. However, this time 2 years ago, I was already, well, not 2 years ago, roughly around this time, almost 2 years ago, I was already back to drinking. Pretty much right after my last baby was born. So it can happen that quick, It can happen that quick. You just feel the feelings really intensely and you want to get rid of them. I get it, but don't succumb to that, okay? Excuse me, because it always makes it worse. It just does. It makes it worse. There are better alternatives, and I will make a video talking about some of those things very soon. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.